Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the last year in the series of Siddur in the Morning, 15 minutes. Where this year is sponsored by Anonymous for Shleima for Ze'eva, Yosefa, Malka, Riva. That should have a speedy Refuah Shleima in the source of our learning. So basically, after the last bit of the Maimer, and essentially what we're saying is, we're discussing, is basically that the effect of the Avos Yisrael that we have, that Hashem judges us favorably. But even deeper than that, Avos Yisrael is the essence of all mitzvahs. The whole purpose of every mitzvah is L'shem Yichud Kutra B'Ruchu Shchinti, to unite Kutra B'Ruchu, which is Kaddish and Muvdal, the level of Hashem that is totally separated from the world, with Shchinta, with his Shchina, which is divine presence, which is the Nissanas of the Neshamas, meaning to connect us with Hashem. And the ultimate way of doing that is through Avos Yisrael. Every other mitzvah is a specific aspect of that, whereas Avos Yisrael is sort of the totality of it. And that's what we were saying. So then we gave an example of, like for example, the mitzvah of putting on a talus. Oh, that's what we're going to do today. Sorry. We'll go from there. So too with all other mitzvahs. That just like when you put on a talus, like it says, you should surely put yourself, have a king upon yourself, which is the Indian of Kabbalah soul, accepting the yoke of Hashem, which is b'chinas or makif, which is this level of makif, which is surround you. It's a deep level, it's an encompassing light. What are we doing? That at the time when we say echad and shema, should give us the ability, when we're saying that, to give ourselves over, to say to ourselves, I'm willing to give myself over to Hashem, whatever it takes, whatever it's needed. Like I said, if there's no fear, meaning the encompassing light elicited by the talus should evoke fear, not fear, I'm afraid, but fear, awe, trepidation. If there's none of that, there's no chachma. Chachma here, we don't mean wisdom in the sense of more. I mean, chachma comes from what kechma, the ability of what, which is self-nullification. That if there's no fear, there's no recognition of Hashem. There's no fear that doesn't bring any nullification, any realization of the trueness of who we are. Because remember, bittul, self-nullification, is not that I'm putting myself down. I'm telling everyone that I'm nobody. A bittul is recognizing I'm not a separate entity from God. But if there's no fear, there's no recognition of God, it can't produce this level of self-nullification, this bit. The hayira, but then, like we said before, there's the level of yira that comes after the wisdom. This is ein yira in chachma. There's no fear, there's no wisdom. There's no chachma, there's no bittul. But also it says in yira, ein chachma, ein bittul, ein yira. Yeah, and what is that? This is nullification out of existence, meaning that you feel yourself totally not separated from God. You don't feel yourself as a separate entity from God. That's because of the closeness of Hashem. So the two types of bittul, general. There's a bittul, there's a self-nullification, which is I put myself aside. And this would be like a person that gets married. You could say that they suddenly start to take into consideration someone else. Not necessarily change their lives totally. They still live their own lives and do their things, just have someone else's consideration. And so it's not all about them anymore. So they also have someone else in mind. So your bittul, that's that, and that comes through fear, through respect, through recognition of the other person, or in this case of Hashem, recognizing Hashem. So that causes that we have that. So then you have that's a nullification. But then there's a deeper level, which was Imein Chachma Ein. That was Imein Yira Ein Chachma. And then you have Imein Yira Ein Chachma Ein Yira. So after that it comes if there's no Chachma. Let's do this again. You have Imein Yira Ein Chachma. If there's no fear, there's no self-allocation. And then we go to the next level, right? That if Ein Yira Ein Chachma. I mean, meaning ein chachma ein yira. Yeah, which is the bit of mitzius because of the closeness of Hashem. That's the self-nullification on a deeper level, because you're getting close to Hashem. You get close to Hashem and you realize you're totally nothing. Not that you are a nobody, that you're nothing but Hashem. When it comes to fear, the way fear works, this is a very logical idea. The way the fear works, the closer you are, the more you fear. When you're in front of the Riva, the marshal, you have a lot more respect, a lot more awe and trepidation. But if you go out and you go do something, hang out on the beach, and there was nowhere in sight, so are you afraid of the Riva as much? It's not as much. The awe and the fear they have of the king is in front of the king. The further away you go, the less there is. That's the fear. But on the other hand, with love is the exact opposite. Because the more you love, like the distant it is, the more it produces like the love. Like I missed someone, I really love that person. I haven't seen them so long. I want to see them again. I want to miss them. I thought the saying is that saying that distance makes the heart fonder. So, and that's what we're saying. When it comes to Yira, the closer you are, the more fear you can have, the more respect, and that's just a logical thing. The closer you are to a person, whereas when you're in front of them, it's the less. Whereas Ava, the further away they come from you, the more you distance you realize you are from the person, the more you want to come close. The more and the stronger the love becomes. And therefore, through that bittul that comes around through when we say Shema Yisrael Hashem Echad, we think about what does it mean that this oneness of Hashem, and not just we think about the oneness of Hashem. We think about that we're willing to give ourselves over to the nullification of Hashem. And that will cause the yira, the fear, the trepidation will be from a level of bittul, the mitzios, absolute bittul, meaning that I don't see myself as something totally separated. On the contrary, I see myself as a conjure for Hashem, and all my life, that's all it's all about. And this is what the Talus is communicating to us. Yeah, that they say Shema, and you have the Talus on you, and all this. This is what this feeling. But all this is rak heirush. It's only an explanation. The hayichud shehu b'chachma shemenefesh. The unity that comes from the chachma. That's what we're talking about. This chachma, this bittul. When he gives himself over, when he says Shema, this is the foundation of this unity, this mystical secret of this unity. Which the main expression of this is through Ava, through Ava Yisrael. Because Sha'az, when you have it, essentially because when you have Ava Yisrael, Kulach, Yafa, Rayasi, like I said before, that you're all totally beautiful, my beloved. And you'll be tamim, whole, perfect with Hashem. As we explained before. So we're saying that through obviously Yisrael, like all this explanation we've given is sort of expressed in aspects through putting on a talus, saying Shema and all this echad, but obviously Yisrael, this is how it is all the time. Last page 42 in this sefer. And even more, I have to explain well the mitzvah zu, the v'ahavta, l'recha k'mecha, u'befrat l'loy sasa, v'loy sisna. And even mostly, I have to explain what does it mean that you shouldn't hate, and you shouldn't have hatred and negativity towards your friend or someone else. It can be explained from another perspective. I explained elsewhere. The pasuk to understand that you have to learn something else. When it says you shall gather from yourselves amongst you, choose from yourselves, to give over a retribution for Midyan. If anyone remembers, we learned this in the Ma'am of the Hashem. So this is not what the Tzemach Tzedek is referring to. That same kuntrus, because Tzemach Tzedek was before the Rashab. But it's been the Rashab wasn't the first person to discuss this idea of Cholzul about obviously all. That's what Tzemach Tzedek is saying, that you look over there for those other parts. And what does he explain? Like he explained in the Maimer of the Cholzul. If anyone remembers learning Cholzul, they could think for themselves before we continue what was the idea. But what he says here is that And the clip of Midjan, like we said over there, is about baseless hatred. Look over there, it has to be the retribution of Hashem. You have to get that retribution against the baseless hatred. You have to realize the baseless hatred solves a lot of problems. I can explain over there. And with that, we have finished the Maimer. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining and being able to come with us on this journey, the Maimer. Stay tuned for the next one. Have a great day.